Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasarusham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalaнаянam Yogi Vidyanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavayaram Sarvalokaikanatham. Om Vishnu Vishnu Vishnu. Shruti Sagara 264. We talked about Shruti Sagara is receptive. Shruti means reception and collecting in an ocean. And what the ocean, importance of the ocean. Let me tell you a little bit something about rivers and oceans. We talked about that yesterday. Rivers have sweet water. River does not have salt water. All the rivers come in. And how come we pour in sweet water and become salty? The ocean. Why? Fascinating thing. The rivers remain fresh even though they may bring a lot of minerals from everywhere. They drain minerals from the mountain, from the underneath but they continue. Why does that happen? That happens because, simple reason is, because there's a constant inflow of water into it. Fresh water keeps coming in. Flowing water keeps clean. Flowing water keeps clean. Even though there is some deep stuff going on, even if you drain something, and just think along the lines of our mind. Okay, this will go quickly to the mind area. But flowing water, so the stagnation can lead to Alzheimer's, as you know very well. We talked about that. I'm going to talk a little bit of parallel, so we know the idea about it. So flowing water, so continuous flow and continuous activity keeps it fresh. Plus, of course, the rain has come and all that stuff. And the streams join. The streams join to form a river. What's that? Multiple inputs from different areas. Not just one, multiple inputs. That forms the river. And the river flows. And then it empties. Of course, it also brings silt. It brings some, sodium chloride, all the minerals that they do bring. Rivers do bring it into the ocean. And the ocean gets dumped. Now what is happening is, so multiple rivers are bringing that in the ocean. Ocean is all a fantastic reservoir, big reservoir. And as the reservoir it is, this one thing that happens is it obviously collects all the salt which is there, but it is more or less stagnant. It doesn't go anywhere. I hope it doesn't. If it starts going over the boundaries, you know what can happen. We talked about that yesterday, tsunami. It has relatively fixed boundaries, even though it's a Pacific Ocean. It's still relatively fixed boundaries. It doesn't go over all the continents now. So now we have even 6-7 mile deep Pacific Ocean. It's still there. Now what happens is, it starts heat. And there is a heat there and it evaporates. Water evaporates and forms the cloud. Now that water is what? That's pure. That is not salty. If you were to have a water vapor condensed on somewhere and you taste the water vapor, it's not salty. So the salt gets concentrated more on the river, on the ocean. And we know sometimes we give intravenous saline. You probably have heard about that. 0.9% is the actual intravenous normal saline that we give. Sometimes when your sodium falls and you have to give higher concentration of normal saline. It's not normal saline, saline solution they call it. And that goes to about 3% when we have to treat somebody with very high sodium infusion. This ocean is average about 3.5%. Most of the oceans are about 3.5%. Now, one exception, well, there are many exceptions, but one of them is Dead Sea. Dead Sea, right in the Jordan area. You know about that. That is about 34%, 34 to 35% salt. And why is that all that? Because a couple of things. the tectonic plates have shifted a little bit, and that water got trapped. There is no source coming in, there is no rivers coming into this area, plus intense heat, so it evaporates. And that is what the Dead Sea is all about. And then you can float on it. You can go there, and I'm sure people have gone there and you'll be able to float on a Dead Sea. Now, you extend the same corollary and further into geographic area, it solidifies. Many times you've seen the salt coming down, and actually salt basins are formed when the water evaporates. And over a number of years, the changes happen in the earth crust and the salt mines. You have probably heard about that. There are salt mines. Salzburg is one of the areas. Salzburg is one of the areas. But there are salt mines. And so salt gets really deposited quite a bit. This is what happens in our life as well. We can have that there, we call it vasanas, you just collect and all that stuff. And, in that, we collect it for a number of, decades and later on in their lives. So flowing water, that's a couple of obvious examples. Flowing water is number one. Number two, whatever you give out, even though you have negatives within you, when the heat comes or when something, the situation changes a little bit, you give out something positive. You don't give out anything negative. How do you practice that? Now I'm going to give you one example and we'll stop this to go to the next recording. And that is, if you're carrying a cup of water, or a cup of milk, or a cup of tea, what happens if somebody bumps into you? You spill water, you spill tea, you spill milk, you spill what you have in you. So when the situation gets bad, at that time you will only spill what you already have. If you have we have a lot of hatred in ourselves and a lot of negativities, that's what you will spill. You'll come out with all 4-letter words and all that vibhatsa language because that's what we're carrying inside. Now if we changed everything, now it's a different story. So Shruti Sagara has an importance. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamrichyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate